Okay, so we seem to have a slight problem with a Mini Cooper S 2010 model convertible. We're getting an awful lot of water in here, and it's not through a leak, we don't think. We think it's possibly something to do with there is no heat coming out of it. So I'm just going to do a couple of checks on this because it's not always apparent what's wrong with these. We've had Minis before and they've not been the best cars to have, but we continue to buy them for some reason. So we start it up and just have a look and see what's going on.
Deal to end the dispute.
So let's have a look. So we don't appear to have any warning signs on it at all. It's been run for about 5 miles, and looking at the blowers, we're still on cold air. So first of all, just check that the air conditioning is working as well, because obviously that will clear your windscreen. Listening for it to click in and out. So we'll just take the motors down. Let's see if we can hear it. So I can hear the solenoid coming on and off, and the actual turn of the engine revs is dropping, so I know that that's working. So I think we've probably got another problem here, and I don't think it's electrical. It could be a solenoid. Let's have a look. Grab the torch, little look under the bonnet and see what happens. Right, okay, so no leaks from any of the system as far as I can see. All the pipes seem to be in good condition, but there we are. So if you just have a look down at that tank, which is your water tank, there doesn't appear to be anything in it. Now, we've had this problem with Minis before. We got to the point of where my daughter actually blew a head gasket on one of these due to no water. They do tend to leak water, and I don't know why or where. So I think that is going to be the problem, because the water's not heating or not reaching the heater matrix, so it's actually just cooling the engine, luckily, hopefully. Another thing that can happen with these is they can blow a head gasket, and that's where your water's disappearing out of. So very difficult to see any of that because there's so much packed into these little Minis. So I would just check the water. That water is definitely not up to any line, it's not even visible. So as far as I can see, that could be the problem. But let's have a look. Let's get that top off. Make sure that the car is cool before you take the top off, even if there's no water in there, because it could come straight through it as soon as you release the pressure. And then obviously try and fill it up, but don't fill it up with cold water. Fill it up with some hot water with a bit of antifreeze in it for this type of weather, and then just start it up again and see if the warmth will come through then. If that's the case, then keep an eye on the reservoir again. But it does look like it's the Mini problem that we've had before. So after getting the top off finally, that was fast on, you can see that the expansion tank is only just got a little bit of antifreeze and liquid in there, and that's because the car has cooled down a little bit. Put a little bit back into the expansion tank when I actually took the top off, because there's quite a vacuum in there. So that tends to say that there's going to be a leak somewhere, but the only way of finding out is to fill it back up again. If the car is warm, which that is warm, it's always best to put in warm water, not freezing cold water, because obviously you're going into the car. We're going to actually start the car and run it again. So we're going to take it up to the level it should be, which is marked down on the side of the box here, just down here. We'll take it up to that level, let it expand up, and let's see if the heat starts to come through, because the car is definitely warm. And if that's the case, that's fine. But then over the next few days, going to have to keep a look on a check on how much is actually going out. If there's an obvious leak, then obviously we can do something. If not, it's down to your local garage, because you're not going to get into this lot and try and sort of find a leak in there. So they're best equipped to do it with a ramp or a lift, and it saves your engine, because if you go far in this and it starts to do that, you run out, you overcook the engine, and you could blow the head gasket, which Minis we have known do. We've had 2 that's done it, and it's very easy. So here we go, we'll just top this up with our warm water, and then we'll see just where this water is going, and if it heats the car up. So we'll run the car a little bit. You might have to keep an eye on this anyway, because as you're putting it in, the car, if there's any air locks in it, because there will be, because the water's been let get to such a degree it's right down, the airlocks will start coming up through the expansion tank and then taking more water in. So you may have to top it up. Anyway, we've done that so far. So let's just see what we can do. Top back on and start the engine. Just keep it running warm, don't rev it. Okay, so we've had the water in for probably about 10 minutes, and the car just running, just ticking over. The car has got or the engine's got hot and warm. Inside there wasn't so much difference in the temperature at all, couldn't feel anything coming through at all on the hottest setting down here. So if you back it off right to low, that will then reset the valve in there, so it doesn't actually put anything through. A bit like putting a little slide valve across on your hot and cold setting on a conventional older car. So we're just going to turn this back up again and just see if that's reset everything now. I'll just turn that up a little bit. I've got it facing the screen at the moment, so put my hand up and see if there's any warm. Oh, here we go. So we've now got warm air, which means that it was the problem that for whatever reason the water was too low and it wasn't actually getting around the system, and therefore back into the expansion tank. Not a good situation to have, because the threat of a gasket going is, especially on Minis, is quite high when this sort of thing happens. But I've just put this up to high now. It's obviously hit temperature, and that is getting towards the right sort of temperature. And I think that's actually solved the problem. So best thing to do, keep an eye on it. Certainly don't go on your long journeys until it's been fully checked out. You do need to visit the garage just to see if any of the pipes are slightly leaking, or with the addition of new antifreeze sometimes finds little areas where it can escape because it's a more concentrated mixture. But no, this seems to be working okay now, and the car is getting warm, so hopefully it'll dry out, because everything's getting a little bit damp in here. And I think the main reason was that there was no heat coming into the car. There's certainly heat coming into the car now, so I think we've solved the problem. So there we go. So I'm hoping that this is one of my first little videos just to tell you about the stupid little problems that can happen, which you have no idea for. You could take it to the garage and get charged a fortune. Just worth looking, doing a bit of homework yourself on what it could be. I always go on Google. Google's a good thing to have a look on the forums, see if anybody else has the problems. And as I say, just try and sort of theoretically go through what there is and try and make sure that you've actually got fluid in the system before you start taking it anywhere. But that seems to have been the problem, and hopefully tomorrow the windscreen will clear, which it didn't do this morning. So job done. Okay, thank you very much.